What you're seeing on your screen is pure glory. That yellow, that gold, that sweet, sweet wheat. This is my massive wheat field. All right, everybody. I am going to be building this slightly different than my own because it's going to have some improvements on it. It's going to be slightly different. Just watch the whole video if you can. I know it's a bit of a lengthy one. And scale this to whatever size you want. Write down how much resources you think you're going to need for the scale of it. I'm not going to count out the resources because this is just an epic build. There's a lot of resources involved. You're going to need like at least 32 hoppers, at least 32 plus repeaters, a crap ton of dirt, like 1,300 and some dirt. It's insane. So just watch through the video, kick back with some popcorn before you actually build this thing. Decide how big you want to make this epic wheat field. And I'll just teach you how to do it right now. Today is your lucky day. Today is wheat day. We are going to make that giant wheat field. And first, I want to show you the mechanics of how that wheat field operates. Basically, there are pistons that hold up blocks that prevent this water from dropping onto the wheat when it's finished growing. Once you flip the lever, the water rushes down, brings all the wheat with it, and it goes straight into the hopper. I know the wheat's not fully grown here yet, but I'm going to demonstrate it to you now. And yes, you can also use dispensers instead of pistons, but this is kind of the old-fashioned way of building it that I've been using since the early days of Minecraft. So I thought, why not show you guys this one? So today we are going to make the epic giant big gorgian, that's not even a word, but it's perfect to describe what we're building. We're building that huge ass wheat field. It's going to yield you over 1,300 wheat, and you're going to build it and you're going to uninstall Minecraft because you've beaten the game. All right, so how this works is basically these grow into wheat. We flip lever, blocks come down, water rushes out, and the water pushes the wheat and seeds into the hoppers. The hoppers then feed the wheat and seed through the hoppers, and they will get clogged up in the big one. Trust me, it's going to take a good amount of time to filter through these things and into your chest, but they will start coming into your chest. Now, this was a small one, so we only had like 2 wheat that was actually full grown because we didn't wait for it to all grow. But you're going to get all of your stuff here and be able to collect it. We're going to actually only be using 32 of those hoppers, and we're going to use 2 chests. Now, the first step here is the most important one. This is where all of your wheat is going to go. This is where your seeds are going to go. This is your collector. If you want to speed up the process, you can actually add more chests. I actually highly recommend it. So I might be adding more as we build this thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to put down your double chest, and then you're going to decide how big you want this. We want this thing pretty massive. So first we're going to place our hoppers feeding into our double chest. So we have 2 hoppers right here feeding in, because when the wheat comes down, it's going to feed into the chest. And then you can kind of go hog wild with how big you want this thing to be. So that's 2. Let's go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. This is how many I have on mine. It's ridiculous. It's huge. I know. Now, this wheat field, normally with the small ones like this, or scaled up small ones, you put a row of water on each side to keep this moist. You're growing 1,300 wheat. If you have to wait a little longer for this whole field to get grown, it's okay. So we're going to skip the water rows, and we're just going to plant wheat. The next step is the easy step. We get out dirt. We're going to take our dirt and we are going to place it down so that we have 32 blocks of dirt right where we want the wheat to fly off of and into the hoppers. So if we go look at the small scale, oh, it's so nice. It's so much easier to see the things come off of here. Guys, don't make me go back to the big one. Please don't. I just can't do it. Leave me here, please. Just leave me here. Okay, so if we look at the small scale one here, right? The wheat just falls off and goes into the hopper here. Now, because of where the water flows out of, this is actually a row here that the water has to cover. You can do this in different ways. This is just how I have mine. This isn't the most efficient thing, but again, we're building it so big, efficiency not gonna matter. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add 6 more rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that will be 7. And then you gotta fill this whole thing in. So now you've got your 32 blocks going this way, and you've got 7 blocks going this way. So yeah, she's pretty long, but this is gonna be one big field. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put a block here, and put a block on top of it, and guess what? We're gonna make another 32 by 7. Okay, so now we have 2 of these rows. These are, of course, 32 by 7. And you're going to want to make 6 of these platforms. We have 2 down, so it's going to take me some time. It's going to take you some time as well. When you've completed all of these rows 6 times, you'll have 1,344 blocks that you can plant wheat on. I know, it's insane. It's a lot of dirt. That's how much dirt you're going to need. 1,344 dirt. I'm just gonna get to it because it's gonna take me a long time, and then we'll cut to the next step after that. Okay, so now we have all 6 of our rows. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they are, of course, 32 by 7. But here's the trick. With the last row, when you get to the 6th one here, on the 7th row, which I haven't completed yet, you're going to actually put a sticky piston underneath each of the blocks. So yes, the 7th row is actually technically going to be shorter because this row is going to be blocks that are raised up by the sticky piston. Now, you don't have to use dirt here. You can get fancy. If you don't want dirt and you want it to look cool, you could do like our other one, use glowstone. But I mean, we're using a lot of stuff here. So for the sake of you guys and your resources, I'm just going to use dirt. This is going to lift up the dirt, which is going to stop the water from flowing down. And then we move on to the next step, which is just laying down all 32 of our sticky pistons. Now, if you need to climb up here, you know, get some dirt scaffolding going, and then, you know, walk over to the side and then place down whatever you got to do in survival to make this happen. This thing is a behemoth, okay? But you definitely can do it. I did it on my survival server, and you're going to do it on yours. Look at these bats. They're like, hey, this is a pretty awesome cave that you just built. So I'm going to lay down all 32 of these sticky pistons. The easiest way to do it is to get the dirt row across first. So let's do that. I just love any build that lets me just hold backwards and hold down my mouse key. And this is one of those builds. It's fantastic. So now we're going to take our sticky pistons and we're going to take our sticky pistons and we're going to go across, making sure they all face up as such. And there are 32 of these puppies. So, and don't misplace them like me. It can be tricky. It's all about the angle. If you want to do this in an easier way, you can get rid of this row of blocks and do the row of blocks after the sticky pistons. But really, it's not that hard. See, you can pretty much fly through it as long as you have the 32 sticky pistons. And as I previously said, if you want to do this, the dispenser route, you can do that as well. But this is the old school sticky piston way. So now we've got 32 sticky pistons placed down. That's right, 32. You're going to need 32 of those puppies. So the next step with our 32 sticky pistons and our row of 32 dirt underneath the 32 sticky pistons is to take another row of dirt and place them underneath next to the pistons connected to the row of dirt. So the dirt is going to be 2 by 32 essentially, because the bats just crack me up still, because we're going to put our repeaters all the way down here. All right. Which means, yes, you're going to need 32 repeaters for this bit as well. And they're going to face each and every single one of these sticky pistons. This bat is actually in our way. Oh my goodness. I never thought that this would be an issue that I have, is these bats. So maybe light up the bottom of this thing as you build it. I actually built mine in survival, and I didn't have the issue of the bats. So you might not have the issue of the bats as well. All right, so we have 32 repeaters down connected to the sticky pistons. Pretty easy step. The only hard part is obviously you got to craft 32 of these things. This is a massive build, so hopefully you've just had a bunch of supplies. Really, this is just a flex on your friends, let's be honest. Okay, so now the next bit here is we're going to actually dip over here back to the side, and we're going to place down the side walls of this thing. I like to use wood. You can use whatever block you want. And we're going to take our wood and we're going to make essentially a wall down the side. And what this wall is going to do is it's going to stop the water from essentially flowing outside of our wheat field and getting everywhere, because you don't want that to happen. You can use any block you want for this portion. It really does not matter. All right, so there we go. So we have our line of walls going down there to stop the water from flowing out. And down here at the end, we're going to build it as well. And it's going to stop right here next to the hoppers. So we're going to do the same thing on this end here. Just building that wall all the way up our field. Thankfully, we don't have to build a ton of rows here. So, oops. So we can actually be pretty resourceful. We can actually be pretty resourceful here because, well, we're not building like 1.5 million rows. I mean, it's still a lot of wood, but it's, if you think about it, there's only 7. These things are only 7 deep, so it's not too much wood that you're going to need. You should be A-okay on collecting wood. This is one of the easiest parts of collecting for this build, is just getting whatever block is the wall. You could just use dirt like everything else. So feel free to use whatever you think is aesthetically pleasing. So now the next portion here, Okay, so you might be wondering what is going on here. Now, how you flow the water through here really will decide how big your top row is going to be. If you flow the water on top above the pistons, all right, so we have our piston here. If the water comes down directly on top of where that's going to plug, it will flow the whole 7 blocks. It will flow across this whole portion here. Obviously, our blocks here are going to be where crops won't be growing. But if you do it a step back, the water is actually going to end on this block and it won't flow all the way down, and you'll have to actually adjust the size of everything. But just to demonstrate how this will work, I'm going to put a row here. Don't build these troughs that I've just built here. I just want to show you how this thing is going to work when we get the whole thing done. So I hooked up a little redstone, flipped the lever, and it shows the water flowing across all these levels. All right, so now I'm going to show you right here basically how this is going to work. Is we're going to have rows of redstone dust going all the way down with more repeaters to keep this thing flowing and allow you to turn this thing on and off. And that's going to make the little piston rise up to turn it off. So as you can see right now, the piston is down. It pushes the block up, it plugs the hole, and the water stays in place. And our field is going to dry up. So now what we can do is we can get rid of this here. And we can actually build the mechanisms we need for this build to function correctly. So I'm going to get rid of the water here, and I'm going to reset to where we were. All right, so we are back to where we were. I've demonstrated the concept, so I hope you know how this is going to function, because now is the fun part. We have to build the trough that's going to go above these blocks here. So what you're going to want to do in order to make that happen is you're going to want to come down here, put down a block, get some redstone, get a little lever so you can turn on this first block here. And this is going to give you a visual idea of what you need to do. So it's basically what I had just showed you, but you're going to do it yourself now. So you know how you're going to need to build the water trough. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a block and we're going to place it here. We're going to place it here, and we're going to place it here. So take a look at that. So basically it's going to be like a little, if you can imagine a little triangle pointing that way, or half of a plus sign with the left side missing. And you can just build off of the wall here to make that happen. Another visual cue to show you is we have these 2 bricks here and the one right there. And then what you're going to want to do, I'm going to turn that on to give a little visualization. I'm turning that back on to give you a little visualization here, is you're going to run this all the way across to the back of our field. Again, it doesn't have to be wood planks or anything. You can use any block for this. Just make sure it's not something silly. So any normal block will do. If you got like a million obsidian sitting around because you're a psychopath, probably exhibiting serial killer tendencies, go ahead and use that obsidian. I really don't care. If you want to be more serial killer, you could use netherite. Or I should say ancient debris. If you have that much ancient debris, you've graduated Minecraft. All right, so now we have this trough going all the way down here. I showed you to put that little one bit there. And if you want to clean it up, you can also do this right there. So it's a nice long rectangle. You're like, but the water is going to flow out the back. And that is correct. So we are going to place one block down here. And then we're going to build another row. And we're going to seal this puppy off. All right. So there you have it. You now have the back sealed up. You have it so you can plug it when you get all of our pistons working. And then when we drop the pistons, the water is going to flow down and push the crops down into the hoppers, which will push into the chest. So now we just need to rig up our repeaters, and we're nearly done with this whole thing, believe it or not. So let's do that portion right now. All right. Let's get some more dirt out. Yes, you're going to need more dirt. The dirt just never ends, guys. It just never ends. We're done with sticky pistons. We can get rid of those. So what we're going to want to do now, and I'm going to get rid of that block, is we're going to build another row of dirt to put redstone dust that are going to attach to our repeaters to send the signal to them to turn this whole freaking mother lover thing on. All right. And I do preferably like to have my lever on this side. You could just leave it on the other side and have it on that side and put your chest on that side as well. Really doesn't matter, but I'm going to do it the way I like it. So I got rid of the lever down there and the blocks down there, and I'm going to adjust as such on this side. But what we're going to do for now is we're going to build our row of dirt across, and then we're going to take our redstone dust and we're going to cover our row of dirt with our redstone dust, so it's touching every single one of these mother-loving repeaters. All right, so that part's done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a block that jets out like that, and then one more block, so we have a gap in between, and we're going to make another row. All right, so we have that down now. Now what we need to do is build our redstone line all the way down here, and this is where we're going to leave the switch that is going to power this thing. So I'm going to put dirt there. We're going to put some redstone dust here, and as you can see, the switch turns the redstone dust on and off. All right. Then we're going to take dirt and we're going to bring it all the way down. I know I'm going a little haywire here. And we've got to get it over to our back portion so we can actually start to walk it up here. As such. And then we're just going to bring it over so it connects. And then what we can do is stretch out our redstone dust, and we are going to put in our repeater to extend the signal. Obviously the repeater is not going to reach all the way in the back, but the way I like to do it is get the redstone dust down. You could always count it out. I believe it's 16. But I like to get it down, and you can kind of see where it glows and where you need to add a repeater. Or like I said, you can count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I think around here is where we need it. Of course, you can make adjustments as necessary. So we can see. All right, it's working. And then we're going to have to do the same thing here. So count to 16. 1, 2, 16 is right around there. So we're going to get it down there. And boom, bada bing, bada boom. It's working still. All right. So the fun begins. We're actually going to connect these rows here a little further down. We're going to hop over here. And we're going to get a repeater. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is how I like to do it for these ones. And then we are going to build a bridge here because this needs to run into that row to be able to power this whole thing. And as you can tell, we have some here that still need power. So what we're going to need to do is stretch this across, put a repeater down, put a little bit of dirt or something here to continue the bridge and turn on the other ones. And there's still a bit more at the end that need to be powered. And you can wire this however you want with the redstone dust. I just find this to be the way that my friend showed me and just how I enjoy it. Of course, it takes more repeaters. You are going to have to make these little bridges here. And once you do, you'll be able to plug this whole bad mamma jamma. So let's just make sure our switch works. So we have to come all the way back here. All right, did the drop? If it worked, all of these blocks should be down, and they are. So let's flip the switch one more time. And if it's properly working, they all should be up. And yes, they are. They are all completely up. And if you want to time these things to all raise and lower together, you can adjust the repeaters we just put down underneath and do that. But it really doesn't matter for this build, to be completely honest. And now you are almost done with your wheat farm. You can tell it's taking shape. It's looking like a big, giant alien spaceship of a wheat farm. Okay, so now for this last portion here, what we're going to do, and I just suggest taking out whatever wood you enjoy to make it look pretty or whatever, is we're going to build on the side of the chest like such, and we're going to build across like this. So it will close it off there, and it will close off our hoppers, because our water is going to flow directly onto our hopper in this build. Cleared the weather quick. So we've got a nice, beautiful wall, just like this. And then we can actually do that down the side if you'd like there. So for this last bit here, what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 glass blocks. We're going to put it on top of the hopper. We're going to put the 2 glass blocks here on top of the chest so we can open the chest. And that way any items won't slip underneath. I have used slabs in the past, but you know, the glass block just kind of adds this nice aesthetic to it. And we're going to turn on our field just to show you how that's going to work. And the water is going to go right into our hopper system as such. Now, if you want to, you can even add more chests to this system. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the water, give it a second. It is a huge wheat field, so it does take a second to shut off. And say we want to add a chest down here maybe. What you're going to do is you're going to remove these 2 hoppers right here. You're going to place your new chest. You're going to take out your new hoppers, and you're going to place them running in to that chest there. And then you're going to take your 2 glass blocks and put it on top of the chest as such. And you can do that down here too if you'd like. So we're just going to bust those out, put down our 2 chests, take our hopper, and put our hoppers leading in to the chest. All right. So now we are basically done. So just to show this proof of concept, I'm just going to throw these repeaters, throw these random items in my inventory all over our wheat field. We're going to pretend this is wheat. I know. I really see the cobblestone. And if that was wheat, it was fully grown. We turn on our water blade of sort. The blocks up there drop. The water pushes down. It's going to push all of those items into the hoppers. You can see them going now. Look at it. It looks so cool. It's going to bounce off that little wall there. If you have any slide over, you can actually put slabs down on top up here. Or you could increase the size of your row as well. But one little slab should stop those little getaway items. But you can also run and collect the items too. So then what you're going to want to do is flip off the water. And then you can check the chests. And you can see all of your beautiful wheat. Of course, in this case, it's random items. But yes, I highly suggest putting down the slab across the top so you don't have that one getaway one like we had before. And there you have it. You have yourself a gigantic wheat field. And this thing, you're going to want to plant the wheat. I have found one diamond hoe actually almost gets destroyed from planting this entire thing. So if you get mending, put it on there. If you can make this thing netherite, put it on there. I know when you make that netherite, you're going to get that achievement. You're going to feel really proud of yourself and really sad all at the same time. So then you're going to bust out your wheat seeds. You're going to dual wield them, so to speak. And then you're just going to hold down right click and you're just going to go down this whole field planting wheat. You're going to go down this whole field planting your wheat. You're going to feel really good about yourself. You're going to have yourself a gigantic wheat field. It's just that simple. Then again, like I said, when your wheat's grown, you flip your switch. It pushes it down. Ah, oh, look at it go. We're going to pretend that's all grown in yellow. And it's going to go right into the hoppers. It won't fly over this time because we have the slabs. And you can extend the slabs over here too, which we should have done before. And then it's going to be sitting on top of the hopper if it didn't go inside, which it should be inside. And then, as you can tell, there's 11 in there. There's some in here. I don't think we didn't go down far enough down here. And then it's going to be there for you to collect. And there you go. You have yourself a gigantic wheat field. Then for the side here, of course, you can decorate this however you want. If you want to put dirt so it looks like there's a field, you can do that. If you want to close it up and put, more wood planks, that's always an option. You can decorate this thing however you want. I suggest light sources to keep mobs away because, let's face it, you're going to get mobs spawning in this field. It's giant. When it gets dark, they're going to be there. But yeah, you can close off the sides here to hide this however you want. This is just how I build my giant wheat field, and hopefully you now know how to build it yourself. There it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like these kind of tutorials, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hitting that subscribe button is an amazing way to support this channel, and really just tell me what you guys enjoy. I know this tutorial was a lot different than the normal ones, but I wanted to do something epic, show something epic, and here we are. So I hope you guys like this. This is Cowbun Fun. Until the next one, guys, go plant some wheat, go grow a big wheat field, and I will see you later.